Okay, so a couple of new faces here today, just to explain how this healing class works. We do about 10 minutes of gentle warm-up exercises, just to begin with. If you're not physically able to do the warm-up exercises, you can imagine doing the warm-up exercises. Uh, and then if you're one of the people watching on YouTube later on, you can just forward 10 minutes and get into the standing exercise. But the idea is that these very simple warm-up exercises, which I've been doing for 35 years, um, are exceptionally good at getting the blood and the chi flowing around the body and opening the joints up in the body. And I think this is really crucial to our healing process. And so if you can do these simple exercises, it's very good to do them. And the idea with them is that you can also moderate them. So if I say, turn and look back over the shoulder, you can just turn a little bit and look back. But in your mind's eye, think you can turn the whole way back and imagine your body being able to do every exercise completely perfectly. So what happens in this process is the mind imagines doing the exercise completely, and then eventually it will allow the body to do that. So it's a question of gently allowing the body to open up. Okay, so take it easy with these exercises. The first one, we just think about the core of our body, behind the belly button, deep inside, and we're going to make a very gentle turn from there. So look back over your shoulder, stretch into this turn, do the same for the other side, and we're just testing our back to see how it feels, testing our back, check that everything's okay, stretching gently into this exercise before we begin fully. And then away we go. So we just gently turn from side to side. Release the shoulders, release the elbows, release the wrists, and the hands gently turn and tap onto the body. Okay, so over the last few weeks, we've been slowly working with Dr. Pang's organ sounds. They come from his level 3 exercises. They're based on a very, very traditional set of organ sounds. So you might be wondering what on earth an organ sound is. But the idea is that we've been given this beautiful voice box, and that our voice box can vibrate the inner organs at exactly the right rate for each organ if you discover what the tone is, and also if you discover what the note is. When I have my tuning forks with me, I get very precise about this. So for instance, you can use a perfect C note for the spleen, and it responds really well. The Sorry, I can't help myself. The spleen is seen as being the center, the earth, and it strikes me as perfect that the C note, which sits at the middle of a piano. I mean, I know nothing about music, but it strikes me that the C note that sits at the piano center is also the center of the earth, and I really quite like that. So yes, you can use a perfect C to stimulate your spleen, but if you're not um, musically inclined, it doesn't really matter. We can still all make the sounds, and they will be perfect for our body. So the intention today is just to go through the sounds that relate to the physicality of the body. So what we're going to do is get ourselves into a really, really relaxed chi state. This is what Dr. Pang, the founder of 𝐸𝐴𝐸 Qigong, recommends, is that we find ourselves our way into this very, very deep state where we transform ourselves from being tough, solid material and moving ourselves into this mind state where we are just chi. And so we'll do that after our little warm-up exercises. We'll work on the idea of relaxing back into the chi field and allowing the whole body to become one with the chi field. And as we do that, that starts the healing process off. So that's the first step, is using Dr. Pang's 8 phrases just to relax ourselves into this really deep state. Then after that, we're going to work our way through the 5 different organs of the body, and just make sounds to help the organs vibrate. So this week, I think what we'll attempt to do is the It's highly unusual. I'm very sorry about that. Seems there's a problem with Zoom, but we're back. Just put my computer back in place and we can carry on. Okay, my apologies for that. Sorry, technical hitches. Okay, so we'll carry on and move on to the second exercise. So we've done our turning the waist exercise. We're just going to do some very simple gathering of chi. So all we do is we put our hands into the earth and we lift chi up. And then we gently pour chi down through the body. Just imagine moving this chi all the way deep into the center of your body. Let's gather again, lift up and pour down. Lift and go up and gently pull. Draw the chi down. This is about settling, calming, and relaxing the body. Okay, good. So we're just going to do some very simple forward and back bends. The idea is that we've rotated the spine in the first exercise. Now we're going to bend it forwards and backwards very gently. So we just gently lift the hands up into the blue sky, stretch up, and then we're going to bend over. We start with just the arms and ears. They're not kind of pressed tightly against each other. They're just kind of beside each other. But just let the arms and the ears tip over. And then we go into our upper back. Then we go into the middle back. And then we go into the lower back. And just let the body hang and relax down. So wherever you get to, it's not important. Just let the body hang. Try to take the pressure off your back of your neck as well, so the body just hangs naturally with the head hanging naturally down. Top of the head is kind of facing towards the floor. Okay, great. So let's extend down towards our toes. Just a little stretch down towards the tips of the toes, and then release. Imagine a line that's been drawn between the roots of your toes, where they come out of your feet. Stretch down towards that line, and then release. Imagine a line that's been drawn between your insteps. Gently stretch towards that line. So as you can see, we're getting slightly deeper with each bend, and release. And the last line, of course, is drawn between the heels. Stretch back towards that line or go as deep as you wish to go. And then let the body hang and relax naturally. To bring ourselves standing upright, we point our tailbone way up into the sky behind us. And then we gently push the tailbone towards the front of the body and slowly roll the spine up. And then eventually we start to bring up the head and the arms and the ears, and we gently stretch up into the blue sky. Back bends. So let the hips and knees drift forward. You can softly lean back a little bit and up, back, stretch up, back, and up, back, and stretch up. Okay, let's go forwards again. So arms and ears are the first things to move. Rest of the body stays upright. So you bend the nape of your neck. And then we start with the upper back. And then we move into the middle back. And then we move into the lower back. And we just let the body hang down and naturally relax. So the body hangs and relaxes nice and easy. The back of the neck is soft and relaxed. Let's sink gently down towards the toes and release. In line with the roots of our toes. And release. In line with our insteps. And release. And gently back toward the heels. Okay, great. Let the body hang and relax. Lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone to the front of the body. Roll spine up. Bring up the head, arms, and ears. Stretch up, blue sky chi. Knees and hips drift forward. You softly lean back and up, back, stretch up, back, and up, back. We'll just do 2 more sets of this. Stretch up into the blue sky. Try and keep your legs straight if you can for this next one. So we go over and we have our legs a little bit more straight now, which is just going to stretch out our hamstrings a bit. Let the body relax and hang down. Nice and easy. Nice and easy, relaxed here. Okay, so now we're going to move gently down towards our toes.
and release. In line with the roots of our toes, and release. Towards our insteps, and release. Back towards the heels. Great. Body relaxes and hangs. Lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone to the front of the body. Roll the spine up and bring up the head and the arms and the ears. Stretch up, blue sky, chi. Using the hips drift forward, you softly lean back and up, back. Stretch up, back and up, back. Stretch up. Last time through. Arms and ears tip over. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Let the body hang and relax. Sink down toward the toes and release. In line with the roots of the toes and release. Toward the insteps and then back toward the heels. Okay, good. Let the body hang and relax. Lift the tailbone to point up behind. Gently push the tailbone to the front of the body. Roll the spine up. Bring up the head and the arms and the ears. We'll just do the back bends one more time. Gently back and up, back. Stretch up, back. Stretch up, back. And stretch up. Again, just pouring chi down through the body. So let the hands move the chi down through your head, down into your chest, deep into your belly where we store all our energy. And then relax the hands and the chi just pours in the legs. Gather and lift up. And gently pour. And one more time. Gathering and lifting up. And gently pouring. Very good. Last little exercise before we begin our healing. Take your right hand up and breathe in. As you breathe out, gently drift across to your left hand side. Feel the right side of the body stretch open. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap the hands over. Breathe in, stretch up. And head across. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, lift up. And head across to the left. Breathe in, stretch up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, stretch up. Heading across. Right. We'll just do one more for each side. Gently breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, stretch up. And head off. Left, opening the right side of the body. Last time. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, swap over. Breathe in, stretch up. And head across to the right. Very good. Okay. Lift both hands up in the air. For the final time, we'll just pour the chi through our body. All the way down to the belly. Relax the hands. Gather chi. Pour chi. Draw chi down. Deep, deep, deep inside. One last time. Pour chi down. Focusing everything into the belly. Okay, actually we'll do one more time. But this time we're going to put our hands onto the tummy button. So lift up. Let the hands drift down slowly. Draw the hands down and let the hands just settle on top of the tummy.
So the center of your palm on top of the center of the other palm, on top of the belly button itself, and then deep inside is this area, lower dantian, the lower energy field. So as we put our hands here, the energy starts to gather behind. So this is the optimum kind of posture for gathering energy. Dr. Pang has this down as his kind of secret weapon. This is the most important posture for him. We just have our knees a little bit bent, and then when you bend your knees, you find the weight goes gently forward to your toes. So we bend the knees a little bit, and the weight goes forward to the toes. We let the tailbone sit down a little bit, as if you were sitting down on a dining room chair. Nice straight back. Tailbone just tucks forward a tiny bit. We're not dramatically trying to swing the tailbone forwards. We just tuck it forward slightly and then lift between the legs. So between the anus and genitalia is a point called Hoi Yin. We just imagine closing Hoi Yin. This is the sort of the bowl of our hips just closed. Just this one little sort of tightening of the muscles in the perineum floor, the buttocks, that sort of area. And that signals a kind of a closing of this area so that we hold the chi inside. So we're gathering all this chi inside the body and holding it inside the body. So this is one of the key ideas. Lift Hoi Yin up, and that stops the chi from flowing away out of your body so easily. So one of the things that's seen as being a kind of a drain on our energy is the fact that often Hoi Yin is just open and chi is kind of flowing outwards back to the earth. So now, one of my teachers, Teacher Lu, he always says, lift Hoi Yin, lift Bai Hui, always. What does he mean by that? So Hoi Yin between the legs, lifted up, this kind of closing of this area here. And then Bai Hui sits on top of your head, lifting up. So it's almost like there's this central channel of chi. When I say it's almost like, it's exactly like, this is exactly what there is, a central channel of chi that goes from Hoi Yin between the legs, up through the center of the body, up through your neck, up through Bai Hui, extending up into the blue sky. So we have this kind of central channel of energy. We want to always be lifting upwards. The rest of the body in this standing posture relaxes downwards. So the shoulders relax, the knees relax, the tailbone goes down, everything sits down, but there's this central core of attention that kind of lifts up. So that's a perfect standing posture, is having this Hoi Yin lifted, having Bai Hui lifted. And he says, just when you're walking down the street, remind yourself, lift Hoi Yin, lift Bai Hui. So you keep yourself walking in a kind of like an orderly fashion rather than kind of, shambling along the street. Try and keep yourself sort of lifted for this central column. Lift Hoi Yin, lift Bai Hui, always. Okay, so that being said, it depends on your level of your healing journey at the moment. So perhaps your energy might not see you being able to stand the whole way through this class. So why not get a chair and put it behind you, and you can sort of stand for a little while, and then if you think, oh, enough, I just need to sit down, and then at least you don't lose your kind of qigong state. You don't have to go off and grab a chair and come back. So if you want to organize yourself now, that's a good time to do that. The idea is that we want to try and keep as steady a mind as we possibly can, not lose our mind, quite literally lose our mind out into the outside world. So that in itself is quite a difficult thing to do. If you find yourself suddenly thinking about shopping, life, the family, the dog, whatever it might be, we need to remind ourselves just to draw our mind back inside and just to come deep down into the belly. So I sometimes do that with a very simple breath. I just breathe in through my nose. I imagine all this energy going deep into the center of my head. It's almost as if I could sort of feel the chi going straight up my nose and straight into the center of my brain and kind of illuminating the center of the brain. And then when I breathe out, I imagine all the energy gathers deep in my belly. So it's expected that we will, end up losing our minds. It's no problem. Don't worry about it. It happens all the time. But it's just a question of us gently drawing our mind back repeatedly. So when you find yourself thinking about something else, don't be cross, don't be upset. That's fine. Just gently bring the mind back inside the body, settle back into the physicality, Bend your knees, this tucking of the tailbone, lifting yin, nice straight spine. And you can just mentally run through these little kind of movements in the body to get yourself back into a nice Qigong position, back into a nice Qigong state. Don't be harsh with yourself. We all do it all the time, so don't panic. It's not a problem. Okay, so now what we need to do is to find our way into a Qigong state, into a deep Qigong state. So Dr. Pang has created this thing called the 8 phrases. It's a Chinese poemic form, 8 lines with 4 characters per line. And so what we do is you can recite it as a poem, but also we sing it as a song. And so I'm going to sing it for you. I'll sing it in the original Chinese and then I'll translate it for you. But very often I'm asked as well, why don't we sing this song in English? Why don't we translate it into English and sing it that way? Well, there are 2 reasons. One, Dr. Pang says that the Chinese has been designed in such a way that it carries a vibration. So it's got a kind of like an embedded tonal code. And so as you see later in this particular set we're going to use our voice to make vibrations in the body. And the sounds, not particularly, allied to anything in Chinese language either. They're just sounds. And so what we're doing is we're setting up a vibration in the body. So he says, no point in translating into English because the tones are already there in the Chinese. And then the second reason is that you'll see how long it takes me to explain it. It's very precise, 4 Chinese characters, bing, 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 bing. When they stand beside each other, they give off a huge amount of information in the Chinese mind because each character is a kind of a formation, a little cloud of ideas. And when you stand all these clouds of ideas together, they bring about a beautiful poetic clarity. And so it takes me in English an awful lot to explain, whereas in Chinese, it's kind of like, yeah, I get it. I see all these ideas arranged and they form a beautiful picture in my head. There's something very nice about that in Chinese. Anyway, Dr. Pang's 8 phrases. They sound like this. So just relax. 周天彻地，云从一城，外景人内景，寻常毛骨，一念不起，成就太空，真意交替，就身融融，就身融融，就身融融。Connected from your feet deep into the earth below you. But imagine going further, out into the blue sky beyond, out into the universe beyond. From your head, connected up into the blue sky, out into the heavens, out into the universe beyond. Connected forward and backward, left and right. We connect out into the universe in 1,000 directions. We let our body gently relax. The mind can expand. We bring about this deep inner respect for our bodies. that brings about a deep inner peace. No real difference between the inside and the outside. So we just feel ourselves soften into the chi field. It's no longer really possible to tell where your skin ends and where the chi begins, because your skin is chi, your bones are chi, your muscles are chi, every system in your body is chi anyway. The whole of nature is made out of chi. So all we're really doing is suspending the logical left side of our brain, which tells us we're separate, letting it go quiet, and feeling our deep connection into nature. So just allow yourself to relax back into this nature chi. Clear your mind. Very often, our mind can get in the way, can jump in, can start talking to us. Just let your mind clear. We allow our minds to soften and relax. The whole of our body follows and softens and relaxes into the background chi. You connect with nature all around you. You become one in the chi field, harmonized deep in the chi field. When we do this, we find there's this amazing connection between us. You can expand out of your body, out into the chi field around you. Expand further out into the blue sky. Expand further out into the universe. Just as easily, we draw back healing chi from the universe through the blue sky, deep back into our bodies. The entirety of the universe is at your disposal. You can gather this healing chi deep inside your body. So in a moment, you can expand out, and in the next moment, you can draw this healing chi back inside. Another side effect of this is that we can connect together. You connect with me, I connect with you. We connect with all the other classes around the globe, millions of people doing the same thing as we're doing, all over the world, connecting into the chi field, connecting into the information layer, this kind of vast library of good information available for you. So when you draw back this healing chi, you can draw back good information also. Whatever it is you need to heal your body, there's someone out there who's got a perfect working version of what it is that you're needing help with. But also you can help other people. Just by being in the chi field, you bring your good information to the chi field. So connect across time and space, deep inside the chi field, harmonizing ourselves with nature, harmonizing ourselves with chi. Whole body harmonizes with qi. So we can just gently move our hands up to the middle dantian. Middle dantian sits behind the breastbone. The middle energy field. Okay, so if we're being very precise about it, middle energy field for qi is, I think, slightly lower, and the organ qi is slightly higher. But hey, it's a tiny, tiny difference. What we're talking about here is Hunyuan Palace, it's referred to. The Hunyuan Palace of Qi. Hunyuan Chao in Chinese. So we have this kind of central area, and how are we going to find where Hunyuan Chao sits? So we use this tone, Ling, L-I-N-G, Ling. And then you do a kind of surprised version of Ling at the end that goes Ling. So it's kind of like up, boing. So take the tone Ling and then Ling. Okay, so breathe in. Ling. Just feel where those tones come from, deep inside your chest. Move your hands around a little bit to locate the center. Breathing in. Ling. 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 Feel that little ling jump in the center of your chest. Ling. Two more times, just to be certain where Hunyuan Palace resides. Breathing in. One more time. Now we have this center gathering point in our mind's eye. This is where all the qi, the Hunyuan qi, the entirety of the universe qi comes into the body and stores. So what the sacred sands do, or actually, sorry, sacred sands is a very old way of referring to them. From Taoism, Dr. Pang calls them the 5 organ sands. What the 5 organ sands do is they take this deep reservoir of Hunyuan qi and they distribute it deep into every major organ in the body. So this is a really fundamental way of healing ourselves. We're going to start with our liver because it's springtime. I'm wearing all green because it's springtime. So the color of the liver is green. The emotion of the liver is anger. So the liver holds raw anger. When you get cross about people cutting in front of you when you're driving, and you suddenly shout, it makes you angry. That's what the liver does. And so when our liver is calm, we're very calm people. The liver has got a partner, and that's called gallbladder. Gallbladder is where we hold deep-seated, really deep, long-term resentment. So, ladies, yeah, there's a thing with resentment is that we say men explode and ladies implode. So when things go wrong, men tend to shout, and that's the anger being expressed out. When things go wrong, women tend to hold it deep inside, and that is the gallbladder. And it's very interesting that we find that very often the gallbladder, which is all connected with the lymph system in the body, sometimes lymph underneath the armpits, breast cancer, And that all is rooted back to the idea of this deep anger held inside that hasn't been able to be expressed. So you can see how important working with these tones are. We can release these deep held angers from our life. You don't even have to know what they are. You can just use the tone to let go. So the liver tone is quite a strange one. Some of them are quite melodious, as we'll see, but the liver tone is quite angry in a way. And so you get rid of liver chi by spitting it out. You say tu, T-U, tu, 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 tu. And each time you say tu, you can feel your diaphragm gently jump. You can feel your liver gently jump. So if you place your hands on the right-hand side, just kind of around about the rib level, and you take a breath in, and we'll say tu together. And you'll feel that little jump there, tu, 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 jump on the right-hand side of the liver. I think better to keep the hands, well, you can choose. You can put your hands on your liver or on this central energy field as you wish. Yeah, whichever feels right, it doesn't make any difference. So we can hold on and then we can say tu, tu, tu. So tu is very much about the physicality of the liver. And as you feel, it makes the liver jump. So it's actually physically kind of massaging, stimulating the liver chi to move. Okay, so breathe in and again. Breathe in. Think about anger. You don't have to really be angry about something, but just try and get a very positive anger emotion going. I'm cross, but it'll be okay kind of anger. I can understand that, this is a problem, but it'll be all right. It's not anger and it's a desperation. Oh, I'm never going to fix this. It's just a terrible weight on me. It's actually a positive anger we're looking for. It's kind of like, yes, it's made me cross, but it's the good way of being cross. It's an important way of getting something out of my system. So we kind of hold on to this gentle idea of being slightly cross while we spit out. Breathing in. We'll do 2 more rounds of this, and then we'll move on to the next layer of the organ. So breathe in. Last time, breathing in. The next sound we make is Jew, like a Jewish person, J-E-W. Or it's actually something like D-J-U in Chinese and pinyin. We're just going to say Jew. So a slight D, like Django, DJ. So breathe in. Jew. So this works on the chi level of your organ. So we have the physicality of the organ, and then we have the energy of the organ. And so this is our chi level we're working at now. Next week, we'll add to it the emotional level, the kind of spiritual level, if you like. But this week, we're just going to do Ju. Okay, so let's do that about half a dozen times. Breathe in. Ju. So, are you singing to your liver, or are you singing from your liver? Doesn't really matter. It's not, it's not important. But perhaps you could You know, imagine the sound of the voice box is actually vibrate. It is, but you can imagine it kind of like, like sound waves going vibrating your liver. Or perhaps you can imagine the sound coming from the liver creating the vibration inside it. So you can still massage onto the right hand side of the body if you want. And we'll say Ju a few more times. So breathe in. Ju. Do you want to go higher? Do you want to go lower? You make up the choice for that. You might try and do, and you might try and see what works for you. I tend to find that when I'm doing sort of the lower, more solid organs, that I use a lower tone. And sometimes when I get up to sort of the heart and the lungs, higher tone. So perhaps that sort of seems to make more sense to me, but up to you. So we'll do one more, sorry, two more tones for you. Breathe in. Ju. Gentle breath in. Ju. So wherever your hands have been, just settle them back into middle dantian. Just think about middle dantian like a sun in the center of your chest, this glowing ball of energy. Where we found it, ju, ju, sorry, ling, 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 this kind of ling, ling. So we find our Hunyuan palace deep inside, and then we can have the hands settle over there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to work with is heart. So from spring we move to summer. And the summer is the heart organ. Red, unsurprisingly. So you're doing summertime, you'll often see me wearing my red trousers, red t-shirt, just to kind of exacerbate the effect of the heart story. Okay, so last week we were doing the physicality of the heart, and what we're working with is the pericardium muscle around the heart, the actual walls of the heart, the valves that pump inside the heart, the aortas that come out of the heart, and the veins that go into it. And so, again, it's a little bit higher up, I think, than Hunyuan Palace. So perhaps you could move up just a little bit higher. Heart is pretty much center of the chest. It's, sort of 90% center and maybe a tiny bit to the left-hand side. Hollywood has the heart over here, but in fact, heart really sits in the center of the chest. Okay, so the first heart tone for the physicality of the heart is Shin. It's in Chinese pinyin, it's Xin, but it sounds like shin on the front of your leg. Shin. Okay, so we're just going to say shin, and we're going to think of the heart, and we're going to think of joy, something that makes you happy. So just think about the emotion of joy, and then we'll breathe in. Shin. A little massage on your heart. You can do that as well if you wish. Breathe in. Shin. A simple, gentle feeling of happiness and joy. Two more. Okay, so that addresses the physicality of the heart. But now what we're thinking about is the chi, or the energy that makes your heart work. And the tone is slightly different. It's X-I-A-N-G. So what you'll find with a lot of these tones is there's this E-N-G, A-N-G, O-N-G tone at the end of the tone. And the N-G part of the tone almost takes the tone from out and draws it back really deep inside to vibrate almost like in a hum. And so this tone would be becomes a hum deep inside. Okay, so he is quite open, and then gets deeper and deeper and hums and vibrates inside the heart cavity. Okay, so let's do Xiang for our heart. Still holding on to this gentle idea of soft joy, not kind of, ooh, crazy happiness, because that's too much. It's called overjoy. What we're talking about here is just a very gentle, keen stimulus of joy. Okay, so breathing in. Deep inside. Breathe in. Open with She and goes deep. Breathe in. She. Breathing deep. Breathe deep. Let the ang part of the tone take you deep inside your heart. Massage gently into the heart. Okay, so as the summer season wears on, we get into this extra Chinese season, which is called late summer. Late summer is that hot, humid, um, damp sometimes part at the end of the summer, which is harvest time. It's that really hot, slow couple of weeks at the end of summer. And they have the spleen is the organ for that. It's a special little extra season the Chinese add in. So they have 5 elements and 5 seasons. So late summer is for the spleen. And the spleen sits on the left-hand side, just underneath your ribs. And yeah, the spleen, probably the most difficult emotion to work with. So how do you feel? I think the best thing to do with spleen is just to feel gentle trusting, trusting that everything is going okay, trusting that these sounds will help you, just gently trusting that everything will be good. Okay, so the spleen sound is gang, G-A-N-G, and it's got that vibration going inside. So this is for the physicality of the spleen. There's a bit of a debate in Chinese medicine whether it's actually spleen or are we really talking about pancreas. I think the pancreas is slightly bigger than the spleen. And then there's the omertum, which is the kind of the layer across the front of the body, but that's also connected with the same processes with spleen and pancreas. Doesn't matter, just this area over here. Just working with this idea of gently trusting everything will be okay. Gently trusting you're working with the right organ. So gang is the first one. So we take a breath in and we'll say gang. Gang. Breathing in. Gang. Breathing deep. Gang. Spleen is all about digestive system. Breathing in. Gang. One more time. Gang. So gang helps to tonify the spleen and get the physicality of it working much better. Okay, so um, now we're working at the chi level of the spleen. The second tone is Fu. We just let that vibrate deep inside. So again, if you want to hold the center, where Hunyuan Palace is, where all of this organ chi is gathered for distribution, or whether you want to put it on the spleen, where the organ chi will be going to, up to you. You just feel which is best. And if you decide halfway through to change, also no problem at all. If you suddenly think to yourself, okay, I'd rather move from here to there, that's great, do it. Okay. So fu gives us the chi level of the organ, and we're thinking about gentle trust. Okay, so gently massaging wherever you wish. We'll say fu together. Take a breath in. Gently breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in. Last time. Okay, so holding that deep inside.
The Hunyuan Qi of the universe we've gathered, distributed deep into the spleen, deep into our digestive system. Blood and qi flowing well, digestive system working well. And of course, before it, heart now working well. And before it, liver functioning really well. So where do we go after this? We move to the autumn season. The colour for the autumn is white. And it's all about our lungs. So the lungs sit surprisingly highly tucked right up underneath your shoulder blades, right up at the top here, and down into the chest. And so lungs, we can hold them. We can just gently massage with our fingertips, or we can have our hands in front, whatever. And the tone that we use for this is sang. So the first tone is sang, like in sang a song, and it's got this going deep inside. So breathe in and massage if you wish, or hold when you're in palace. Breathing deep. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention the emotions. The best emotion to work with is sadness. So the feeling of sadness. Just think about a gentle, lingering sadness in the background. We're not talking about something that's going to make you sob. We're talking about a very gentle kind of thinking of saúde, they call it in Portuguese, a kind of sadness, a longing in the background. So we'll just gently massage and just hold this gentle idea of sadness. And then we're going to say sang. Breathing deep. Breathing in. Sang. Last time. And then the final tone, oh sorry, the chi tone for going deep inside the lungs is a great one. It actually vibrates the center of the lung, and you can actually feel the vibration. So I've often come to this shorthand for how to describe what a lung is like inside. Take a big piece of broccoli and then put it upside down in a bag. And that's how you get a kind of a visualization of what a lung might look like inside. So where the little florets of the broccoli are, it's like the ends of your lungs. And so what we're doing is we're actually vibrating to the very, very tips of the lungs by doing this next tone, which is just hissing like a snake. And in order to hiss through your teeth, it makes this vibration, the air kind of vibrating deep inside your lungs. So take a breath in and work on the chi level and just think about this gentle sadness. You could actually think about this, letting this gentle sadness go. So breathe in. Breathing deep.
Breathe in. Okay, we're going to develop this lung tone. It has a very curious, in Dr. Pang's work, a very curious change in this S tone. So we go all the way through this S. And now I've got another curious description for you. Imagine drinking a big, thick milkshake, and as you're drinking through the straw, something gets stuck in the bottom of the straw. So you're going, and suddenly you can't drink anymore. So you have this. So what we're doing is we're breathing out, and then we're sucking in this sharp inhalation, but the mouth kind of closes. You close the diaphragm at the back of the mouth, let the tongue close, everything goes. And when you do that, that kind of jumps the lung inside. Okay, so we're going to take our tone, all right? So you can have your hands on your lungs if you wish, or in front on the 𝐬𝐞𝐥𝐟 as you wish. Okay, let's just breathe in. Two more. Last one. Gentle breathing. And massaging into 𝐸𝐴, massage into your lungs, whatever you feel. Okay, so we're coming to the end now. Our last tone is the kidneys, and that would be the winter time. The kidneys' color is sort of dark black, dark blue, kind of like a very dark ocean. It's all about water for the kidneys. So the kidneys sit on your back, just underneath your ribs, or just on the ribs. And so we can actually put our back of our hands onto the back of the rib if you wish, or you can just have your hands on the ribs at the front and sort of, imagine going through to the kidneys. So the kidneys, not dissimilar to the liver tone. It's EH exclamation mark. It's like you've coughed. And when you make this cough, you'll feel your diaphragm jumps. When we cough, we jump. The diaphragm naturally jumps. So if you put the hands on the back and you say, you can feel a little bit of a jump in your kidneys. So yeah, just there's no more explanation than that. Make the kidneys jump saying, eh. Okay, so let's breathe in. And we try maybe, 10 times to say, eh. Breathe in. Always makes me laugh. Breathe in. So the emotion of the kidneys is fear. And I've often wondered, how do you use a sort of positive version of fear? And so the explanation to that answer is walking across ice. Walking very, very gently, very, very carefully. We're aware of the fact that it might break, but if we go very easily and very careful, or walking along a very careful ridge on a mountainside, you can do it, it's no problem, but you just have a healthy level of fear to keep you there. So we just think about this little level of fear while we work away with it, because fear is the emotion of the kidneys. And so if we work with it, we can kind of unstick various versions of fear in our life. So let's say a few more times. Breathe in. Gentle breath in. Breathe in. And the last one. Breathe in. Gentle breathing. Okay, so the chi tone for your kidneys is you, as in Y-O-U. I think, Y-U-U-U-U recurring. So let's just breathe and say you. You. Think about this lovely pure tone just gently vibrating in your kidneys. The kidneys are very delicate, so we're doing this very gentle, delicate vibration. You. Breathe in. You. Let's do two more. You. Last one. You. Very good. So just bring the hands together. Right hand facing up, left hand facing down. Pull the fingertips together, put the thumbs on either end. And just let these hands rest against Hunyuan Palace. So just in this area where we're saying ling, ling, where we found that little area. And we're just going to say Qing, Q-I-N-G, Qing. Okay, take a gentle breath in. This tone is about bringing it all together. Qing. Last one. Let your hands settle on your belly. All of this amazing chi is being vibrated through your body. The organs are functioning beautifully. Your liver in perfect working order. Your heart strong. Your spleen, pancreas functioning beautifully. Your lungs totally clear. Your kidneys strong and working well. When the functions of the organs are in perfect working condition, the whole of the body moves into perfect working condition. Blood and chi flow well through your body. All functions of your body, perfect working order. Let's just create 3 lovely circles round lower dantian. Circling the hands round just gathers energy deep into the belly, holds all of this chi in our chi reservoir. And then we can take 3 circles round in the opposite direction, and that just brings us back into this time, into this space, back into our body, back into our physicality, back into this present moment, so that we can go out and function in the high street, as it were. So we come back into this into this space, into this time and space, into this body. And just think about this chi field deep behind your hands, this beautiful reservoir of chi. We can imagine taking this ball of chi, flowing it up our spine, bringing it into our brain, and really illuminating the brain, the functions of your brain working well. Drawing the chi down your spine, into your neck, into your thyroid gland, down to your shoulders, pouring down to your fingertips, down the rest of the spine, all the way down to the tailbone, into the upper chest with your lungs and heart, the ribs, into the middle of your chest with your liver, spleen, pancreas, kidneys, into the lower part of the abdomen with the sexual organs, excretory organs, into your hips and your pelvis, down into your thighs, down into your knees. Fill your knees with chi, down into your calves. Fill your ankles and your Achilles with chi, your feet filled with chi. Underneath the feet, the skin of your feet, up the back of the body, the skin of the back of the body, over the top of the head, the skin of the front of the body. The skin is this huge organ. Think of your skin in perfect working order, bright, working well. And then underneath the feet again, just imagine a layer of energy all the way under the feet, up the back of the body, over the top and down the front of the body, like a big protective layer of chi around your body, like a suit of armor. This incredible Wei Chi layer protects you. And then we think about our chi body for the final layer, which is a meter in front, a meter behind, left, right, up, down, this big chi bubble around us. So when you see yourself, you imagine the chi body around you, and then the Wei Chi layer protecting you, then the physicality of your skin, and then we go deep inside. Everything in the body working well. All functions of the body, perfect working order. You, happy, put a big smile on your face. Slowly open your eyes. Release your hands down by the sides. Bring a bit of movement back into your body. Perhaps we just shake out gently. Perhaps we just stretch out a little bit. If you want to bend, do so really slowly, just gently. And when you're coming back up, come up even slower, because we really, really don't want to hurt ourselves or make ourselves too dizzy. So really, really gentle movement, stretching out whichever way you wish, opening the body up. Very good. Okay, so as a kind of like a final stamp of approval, we say Haola. So Haola means good already. Everything is already sorted. So we stand with our feet in shoulder width there. We're going to put our hands up in the air and I'll count 1, 2, and then we shout Haola. Don't unmute yourselves because you'll suddenly appear on YouTube. So we'll do it together. I'll know you're saying Haola. Okay, so hands up in the air. 1, 2. Haola. 1, 2. Haola. Last time. 1, 2. Haola. Thank you very much for being here. Sorry we had a little technical glitch halfway through. Okay, so we have a final salute for each other. You bring the right hand up and the left hand down, pull the fingertips together, thumbs on the end. So the same kind of hands as we were doing. It's called Hunyuan hands, except this time we hold them out in front. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching on YouTube if you watch this later. And have a wonderful day. And just allow all this healing chi and these beautiful vibrations to vibrate through your body all day long. Thanks. Bye-bye.